Hello everybody, welcome to the Truth Seekers channel. I'm here with Chris. Your beard look nice, Chris.
Welcome. Thanks a lot.
The Patch
took care of it,
Very good. The Patch Universe.
Yeah, that's me.
Sign up, subscribe to the Patch Universe for
Sign up to the Patch Universe.
Great poetry. Today we are going to talk about Nergal.
Nergal.
The god, Mesopotamian god, also known as Nergal or Nergali. Most information I saw was from Wikipedia. All these YouTube movies, they're like quoting Wikipedia. So that's why I don't want to do much from Wikipedia. I will try to use the ETCSL, that's like the electronic text corpus for Sumerian translation of text from Sumerian symbolism that are on the internet for everyone to see. I think this is from like Oxford University. And most thing about Nergal are like these translation of poems, or I don't know what you call it when you like praise somebody. You give him like a lot of great, and he's like the furious is the Lord, furiously raging storm, confusing the enemies and unleashing great terror over the land. Nergal, mighty quay of heaven and earth. Nergal, who blah blah blah, Lord who guards the teeming people. When he looks up furiously, his weapon against the wicked. Nergal, powerful in heaven and earth. You know, you're like he like paid someone to write. He's like so awesome and cool, you know, and good.
Yeah.
In this other, the ancient.vu Nergal, it says he's also known as Erra and Irra. He is the Mesopotamian god of death, war, and destruction. Dun, 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 dun. This guy is really powerful. But what I have seen in most of my research, these gods that call themselves the gods of war and destruction are most time like just ordinary gods, and mostly not even ordinary, but they are like more like the loser, you know.
Why do you say that?
They're
that's
they're
interesting.
like the wimpish, because if you're already the god of war or terror and destruction, you don't call yourself. You want to call yourself the god of justice and intelligence, you know.
Yeah, but that's the thing.
You always see that.
Who calls?
And you can also see this this picture of him, Nergal. You know, the picture is he looks like
it's a
very
guy,
infeminine. You know,
it's a guy with a beard, you know. So
yeah, but his hands are like, you know, he's like, you know, holding this thing. He's like what you call it's a bit feminine. You know,
you've got like this picture here.
Yeah, but that's not the real. Is that the real Nergal?
Maybe if I do the same, like, do I look like him?
Yeah.
Because the beard, you know, the hair, obviously. But that's the thing is, like, he doesn't call himself like that, you know.
No, he paid someone to call him that.
Yeah, but that's you know, when you look at the pictures of gods, you know, in different mythology, they often look kind of feminine and stuff like that. They don't always. I mean, I don't know. It's just I'm not a big expert, but they have different positions. They look different. So this is the picture you've just shown me. It's just a way of representing him. There are different ways of representing the same god, you know. So, you know, you've got that picture that you see on the screen here, and you have the picture that you've just shown me before, you know. So you've got many different ways of representing the god, you know.
Yeah, but I believe my point of view is a feminine dude, god. Because he was the son of Enlil, you know, one of the mighty. Enlil was also god of war and destruction, and
I see.
very famous. Okay, so yeah, this picture says it all to me, you know.
Yeah, you see that he's got a dog with 3 heads, or like 3 dogs actually, no, 3 dogs.
No, 3 dogs. Yeah, 3 dogs, and he's like standing on, and he has also like 1, 2, 3 toes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean,
and some story says he's like standing on humanity, you know, he's trampling on the humans, and in the background you see the goddess.
Can we read the
and there's a scorpion and a snake, and he has something in his hand, and he has the staff with also the snake.
He has got the sword.
And he has a lion head. He has a mask with a lion, so he's sometimes depicted as a lion and sometimes as a I think which animal? The cock. I think the hand, the cockerel. Yes.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, can we see the rest of the text actually?
The text, yeah, I was busy with the text. Okay, he was a deity that is worshipped throughout ancient Mesopotamia, Akkad, Assyria, and Babylonia, with the main seat of his worship at Kutha, represented by the Mount of Tel Ibrahim. Oh, other names are for him Erra and Irra, so the other text was good.
It's interesting when you read about Erra and Irra is that in the other text they just said, actually, when you look there, they just say that at the beginning Erra and Irra and Nergal were different gods, but they became so similar that they merged into one god, In the other one, like Nergal, ancient history.
This one.
Yeah, he said a bit later on. I wanna focus more on this text because I think they say things that are really interesting for
this text.
Yeah, look at the destructive. Like you see, if you go a bit there, the destructive power of the sun was thought to be a manifestation of Meslamtaea. I can't pronounce it properly. Intense fury, and it became associated with war, pestilence, and death, transforming into the universal god known as Nergal by the time of
the third
period. Obviously, we have to go more into study because he was still associated with death, even at this earlier period, as he represented the high summer sun, which scorched the earth, and the afternoon sun of most intense heat, which hindered crop production. Don't you think it's interesting that the god of destruction is associated with our star, which is the sun? Because you've got the sun, which is actually a representation of life. Here in the Netherlands, we don't have such heat.
No.
But when you go further away, the heat becomes really deadly. So I think it's interesting.
Okay, the paradox, the sun is actually the giver of light and life, and he's called the god. Yeah, but later on he was the god of the underworld.
Yeah?
Yeah, he was before the god of war, then he became the god of the underworld. It says so in a lot of text, I think. Also here, he was, Enlil was his father, and Ninlil his mother.
Nice.
And in the electronic text, they also have I
think in the ancient story you will see a bit further away that you go a bit, scroll down below. I think there's a place where it says that he's
where that he's
that he ruled the underworld. Maybe I'm wrong. Actually.
No, it's true. He was the god of the underworld. Let's see, Nergal.
They just write underworld, yeah.
Yeah. So he was. Ereshkigal became his queen. Other name, goddess, advisor of Inanna. So he was a son of Enlil and Ninlil, though he is also referred to as the son of Belet Ili, another name of Nintur or Ninhursag, the mother goddess who created human beings. Nergal is associated with a number of wives, consorts, including the minor deity Las, another regional goddess Mami or Mami, but not associated with Mama, another name for Ninhursag. Ninshubur, goddess of the east and friend, advisor and confidant of Inanna, and Ereshkigal, queen of the dead and ruler of the underworld. He was also, he became central deity in the cult of the dead, in which priests would offer sacrifice to the god for the souls in the underworld.
Interesting. That's actually like the god of destruction. They are often, related to the underworld when you look at it.
Yeah, I understand that, but to me, this all doesn't seem like real. Like it could happen for real. Like
So you don't believe that Nergal existed?
I believe he existed, but he was not like a super powerful god, you know.
So
I know how the story goes, you know. People like exaggerate it. Of when they have power and money, they want to like. He was one of these like fake kings, you know. He was a king, you know, maybe like a usurper or someone, you know, that's like a bit feminine and a bit cowardly, and he was not all dead, you know, but he was like making stories up. God of destruction, war, death.
Maybe because he destroyed a lot of things. Actually, maybe he brought
wearing a mask, you know, of a lion and having himself painted as, you know. But what did he actually do to be the god of war, or the god of death, or destruction?
Yeah, maybe because it actually brought about a lot of destruction to the people of Mesopotamia. You know, maybe actually the people of Mesopotamia suffered a lot from his wrath, from his anger, from his reign, you know. Maybe that's the reason why he became a god of destruction, you know. And also there's, when you mention hiding, you have underworld, and the underworld is something that the people don't see, you know.
Yeah, they were confusing him with Shamash. That's why he was a sun. You know, Shamash is a sun god.
Well, like, would you say that he was not a god, or all of them were not gods? You know, that's the question, you know. Where do you think they came from, you know?
They came from heaven, so they were, to us humans, they are gods, but not all these gods were like very strong and powerful.
And what
to me, some were like less powerful, less strong.
What are the heavens according to you?
Like we humans, we have like, you know, normal and strong humans, and sometimes these strong, powerful people get like Mongols for children, you know, they're like not capable and not strong and not smart. They're like a bit lost, you know, and they are yeah, when they became, yeah, you see it a lot with very powerful people in the and when they mate with each other, also with the same DNA,
yeah,
the same family tree, you know. I think Enlil had a child. I think Ninlil was his sister. What do you think?
Ninlil was the sister
of Enlil.
Yeah, I mean that happens a lot in the mythology. So when you think about, for example, you know, that happened in the Greek mythology, you know, as well. That, you know, Hera, she was a sister of Zeus, you know.
Or am I mistaken? Was it Ninurta?
Yeah.
It's God. We should see the family tree.
Yeah.
So you have like Ninhursag, Enki, An.
So you see, you've got Ninlil there.
Where?
There. That's right.
I see. Ninlil was there.
Yeah, Ninlil, yeah.
So
you've got Ninlil, and then you have Henlil. So they're not.
Yes, one wife married. So
they're not related.
Ninlil is like born. It's from Haya.
And Nisaba.
Yeah. And An got Nizaba. What? Nizaba is the Sumerian goddess of writing. She's. Looks like this is like.
So you see, you will see Nergal here, son of Enki. So they are not actually sure.
So An got.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe it's his niece. Huh?
Yeah. But how would you relate that to our reality? You know, because the heavens. You're talking about the heavens. What are the heavens?
This is like another planet. They came from another place.
Okay.
Another galaxy.
So you think that basically the Mesopotamian gods, they are aliens?
You could put it that way, yeah, aliens, but aliens is like a very broad concept. People are like saying everything that's from above is aliens, and they're like creepy creatures. But we are actually also aliens.
So you think that
in some parts, you know, they messed with us so much. They tempered our DNA, and
I think I've got another theory on that, actually, you know, because when you look at the picture of the gods, you know, you know, you've got the Mesopotamian gods, the Greek gods, the Egyptian god, and all of those gods, except maybe the Egyptian gods and some other gods, you know, they often look like human, you know, like us. They're representing they're represented like us. So I believe actually that probably a spaceship came from another planet, you know, big empire, and you had this aristocracy, you know, these really important people who also had a lot of technology which granted them power, and actually they were the gods. They were the one that we describe as the gods, you know, and little by little they lost for some reason those powers, and they became the gods, you know.
Yeah.
And then you have the aristocracy, the really important people who are the gods, and you have the other people, you know, who are the human worshipping the aristocracy, you know, because the technology was probably not granted to the other human being. What do you think of this theory?
Yeah, good theory.
Because probably that's another thing. Maybe these people actually came down to Earth, and they created like the pyramid in you've got a pyramid.
The pyramid, yeah.
Yeah, the pyramid in Egypt, and you've got the ziggurat in Mesopotamia, and you've got the pyramid in for the Mayan, you know. So you've got these same symbols, and I believe that they actually brought us to Earth, and then they left.
I think they genetically used the Homo sapiens. There was also kind of humans already. We were like the animals. We were just for you know, eating and sleeping and living in the bush.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, they couldn't handle us like they couldn't give us like commands and orders to mine their golds and diamonds and minerals, and so they had to make us smarter. So they tried, I think, genetically manipulating us with their own genes.
Okay.
But I think also then they got a body, and somehow they had to like also put a spirit in the body, you know, the operating system, to make us smarter.
Okay, so there was before that there was this body without the spirit.
I think they got the spirit from another planet or from other beings that they trapped, and so our body is like a vessel, you know, and the spirits then is the operating system that control the body. So we are not our body.
That's actually really interesting, because I'm wondering, like, when you talked about that, would you think that we were some kind of people outcast, and they put those spirits of the outcast in the body on Earth and saying, you know, you're gonna be stuck in those bodies, like primitive bodies, because you are outcast. And then the people actually left, and because they wanted to go back to the original planet, they created this pyramid, ziggurat, pyramid in Maya, in Egypt and stuff like that. Would you think that would be a good theory?
Yeah,
because that's the thing when I'm thinking about that and all the gods. Because like what I found interesting, to go back to Nergal, is that they talk about the sun, right? The scorching sun, you know.
Yes.
So that's the thing. Is the sun? Where is the sun? Is it above us or below us?
We don't know.
But the sun is kind of above us, you know. When you look up, you see the sun, right?
Right.
So there's this power of destruction coming from above.
But when the sun sets, it goes below us.
Exactly. But there's another thing.
So it's both above and below.
Exactly. But there's another thing which is interesting, is that after that, it became related to the underworld. And you see a lot of, like, if you see, you know, when you think about science fiction, actually giving us clue of where the aliens come from and stuff like that, you would have, you know, I think in the War of the World, I'm not an expert, correct me if I'm wrong, the aliens, they are hidden below the earth. So I believe that Nergal comes from the heaven, like the other gods, the other like aristocrats from this aristocrat, thank you, from this space society, and then he hid in the underground.
He hid.
Yeah.
Oh. So he hides from us in the underground. Yeah. Okay, that's a good theory. Thank you. Maybe you can read 2 chapters, like 13.6 in 1823.
But what would you make of that? What do you would make?
Yeah, we'll see. I like to read it for the viewers.
Yeah.
To have more, to see more about the text about Nergal.
Yeah.
We're like trying to.
But like for example, in the Greek mythology, you've got Hades.
You want to compare Hades with Nergal? Yeah.
Well, it's not actually. It's not. They're not really comparable because I don't think that Hades is related to the god of destruction. You know. But Hades is, the god of the dead. Dead has a negative meaning to it. And Hades is the richest of the gods. It lives in the underground.
Yeah, but these are all like weak subtraction of the original text. This original is Nergal, and all the other gods that came after him are just copycats. So what do you think about this paragraph? I want to hear you read some of these.
You want me to read them out loud?
Yeah.
Okay. 13:16. Warrior with held high, respected lord, son who rises up to protect his father. Nergal, angry sea, inspiring fearsome terror, whom no one knows how to confront. Use whose advance is a hurricane and a flood battering the lands. Nergal, dragon covered with gore, drinking the blood of living creatures. 1823. Lord who, like his own father, Nunanmir, has the power to create life. Interesting. Nergal, enduring house, underworld, you are the general Enlil. It is in your power to determine destinies, to render judgments, and to make decisions. Nergal, your great hands are filled with mighty actions and terrible powers. Great rites, which are revealed to no one, are organized for you. Nergal, among these people, it is you who take charge of divine plans and the purification rites.
Okay, thank you for that. So what do you think about these two paragraphs?
Well, the first one is clearer than the second one. The first one, they talk about destruction and stuff like that. In the second one, the interesting thing is that they talk about the power to create life. So it's interesting when you look back. What I've just read.
Yeah.
When you look back, I've just go up. A bit more up.
Yeah, this you started.
Yeah, but still a bit more up. So there's this warrior with head held high, respected lord. So the first thing you see here is the respect that people have for him. The pride. So he rises to protect. Son who rises up to protect his father. But then after that, they talk about terror. They talk about hurricane. They talk about flood battering the lands.
Hurricane.
Thank you very much for the correction.
And the Nergal is the dragon.
Exactly.
Covered with gore, drinking the blood of living creatures.
Yeah, so you see that they start with something positive. The respect. They start with the head held high, which is a sign of pride.
Yes.
And then they talk about destruction. And then in the second paragraph, they talk about the power to create life. So that's interesting. When they start with this idea of respect, they go to this, pride thing, and then they go to this destruction, and they go back to this ability to create life.
I think it's all a bit exaggerated.
Yeah, but that's the thing. If we think about my theory, my idea, that they are the aristocrat. How would you say that? Aristocrats, right?
Yeah, aristocrats.
Yeah, aristocrats. From a space society. The aristocrats actually have the power to destroy and to create life. That's the real power.
Yeah.
Because if you can only destroy, you will end up destroying yourself. but if you can destroy and create. So for me, that goes along my theory that actually they come from another planet, and that's like a space society, and that we were the subjects of these aristocrats.
Okay, but let's go back to Nergal. Where did Nergal come from? Do you know anything about that? He's came from a place called the city of Meslam or something?
Meslamtaea. I can't pronounce it properly.
So he was he comes from Meslam.
Yeah, what is Meslam? That is the question, you know.
Yeah, what is it? You know anything about Meslam?
Nergal of Kutha. Kutha.
Of Kutha, shared many similarities with another god who seems to have developed independently, Erra or Irra of Babylon. Some of this scholar, Jeremy Black, says these are two different gods, Nergal and Erra, but later become so closely identified as to lose their independent character, and their names are eventually used interchangeably, and today they are recognized as the same. Wow. So for me, who this Nergal is not really clear. I think he was not like a real powerful god, because he was like the son of Enlil, and he didn't have much power, and he was like just putting his name in history book and had his own writer and exaggerated. He's like god of war, death, destruction, and
but where does this theory come from? That's my question, because I'm interested in what you say, but I don't know what that comes from.
It comes from where? What did he do to get these titles? You know, there's nothing known.
In that case, it means that somebody who uses his power to create war, to wage war, or inspire terror, is actually somebody who is afraid. Somebody who doesn't have much power. Because somebody who really has power will create things, like, you know, when they created the pyramid and stuff like that.
If I was powerful, dude, I would not call myself god of war. I mean.
It's caught in the crossfire.